we're going to see a revolution worse than anything we see. Do you know that thousands were slaughtered in the cities in the French Revolution? Their heads were just cut off. Oh, it was terrible, the things that took place. If you look in your encyclopedias up the French Revolution, it was one of the most worst time known to man. They said they have never seen anything like that what took place in the French Revolution. And do you know that right now today I've seen articles on C-SPAN where they have said that those today would only have about 2 hours to get out of the cities if this crisis were to take place. Now, can you imagine? I remember in 1999, I was doing some studies like this with a gentleman, and I was talking about the different things that would happen as these events would play themselves out. And the man happened to be in New York City 2 years later in 2001 when the towers fell in New York. And he said within 2 hours, when he saw the towers fall, he remembered what we talked about. He said in 2 hours, every means of transportation was shut down. He said he could not get out. He wanted to leave, and he was not able to do it. He couldn't get on the boat or the ferries. He could not get on the train. He could not get on the subway. He could not get on the plane. He could not even take his car out of the city. Nothing was allowed him to go. About 2 hours, no one else could leave the cities. It was totally locked down and shut down. And the only person that was able to get out was bin Laden. Now, you missed that. Now, brothers and sisters, all of these things happen just as God said, and these things are coming back again today. And you know what the prophet has told us at that time? She says that before these events happen, God's people were to leave the cities and go to retired places in the country so that when the chaos of the riot and the unrest and the revolutions break out, that they're going to destroy the cities. They're not going 40 and 50 miles out or 30 miles out to try to find you. They're going to be staying there riding the cities where all the food is, where all the stores is, where all the looting is. Whenever there's a hurricane, what gets the rioting? Food is taken. Now, brothers and sisters, it is going to be so terrible. Do you know that in 1929, when the crisis of the Depression got so great, do you know how long it took before they were ready to accept the New Deal? Just 3 years. Is that right? In 1929, it got so bad, the Depression, with the food not being there and nobody having jobs, everything got so terrible that by 1933, they were willing to say, we want government to intervene. And even though they said that they didn't want a laissez-faire government, they didn't want any intervention, they said at that time, we don't care, government, we need anything to save us from what is taking place. Is that right? Now, brothers and sisters, do you know that when the government brought this $700 billion, that was the greatest government intervention since 1929? And the government said, the people said, we didn't want the government to intervene, but we know now that unless the government intervenes, we are in trouble. They said it's bad for the government to intervene, but they said it is a worse evil if the government